3. Someone recently confessed their love for you to a stranger. But what they said after that is going to change your entire story. Archangel Michael says, "Be still for a moment, because what you're about to discover will pierce through your heart like lightning in the darkest sky. In a place you've never imagined, at a time you wouldn't believe, your name was mentioned in a conversation between two people who don't even know you. But one of them does now, and it all began when someone you care about made a confession of love to a stranger. This wasn't a small moment. This wasn't gossip or curiosity. This was truth straight from their lips, unfiltered and heavy with emotion, and it happened when no one was supposed to know. The person who made that confession has been holding in those feelings for so long, it began to hurt them from within. They were desperate to speak about you, even if they couldn't tell you directly. So they poured their heart out to a complete stranger, hoping that maybe fate would carry that truth back to you. But what they said after declaring their love changed everything. Because after speaking your name with love, they whispered something darker. Something they've been hiding even from themselves. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Archangel Michael says, this person is someone you once thought was finished with you. But in their heart, they were never done. They were simply afraid of being too much, afraid of rejection, afraid of you knowing just how deep it really went. They met this stranger at a quiet cafe, not even meaning to talk. But the moment your name came up, it was as if the floodgates opened. They started speaking with trembling hands, and the stranger listened, without interruption. They spoke of the times they watched you from afar, the way your smile made their chest tighten. They said you were magic without trying. They confessed you are the only one who still visits their mind even when they try to push you out. But then, they said the truth that's about to change everything. They admitted to doing something in the past that they've regretted every day since. Something they thought you'd never find out. Type Amen to get blessing 888. That stranger didn't keep the secret. They knew what they had heard was too powerful, too sacred, too dangerous to sit in silence. So they passed it on, to someone else, and now it's reaching you. The chain of whispers has carried the confession like wildfire, and now your name is on the edge of destiny. Because someone has seen your worth, and also exposed their guilt. This double-edged truth is arriving at your doorstep faster than you think. You might not believe it, but this entire time, you were in the center of a hidden love story. They've loved you in silence, and betrayed you in silence too. Now both truths are coming forward, and neither can be ignored. The person is terrified now. They know the words they said to the stranger have spiraled into something irreversible. They know you will hear them. Type Amen to get blessing 999. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. They said they saw you on the day you wore that color they always associate with dreams. And their heart nearly fell out of their chest, because in that moment they almost told you everything. But instead, they turned away, and that's when their darkness grew. They revealed to the stranger how they tried to replace you. How they dated someone else with your name just to feel a fraction of what you made them feel. But it didn't work, it only reminded them of how irreplaceable you are. They said your name is the only name that makes their voice shake. They admitted that your laughter still echoes in their sleep. But then came the storm. They said they did something that could push you away forever. They had a chance to protect you, but they chose silence. They had a moment to defend your name, but instead, they watched someone else tarnish it. And that is the part they couldn't hide anymore. Type Amen to get blessing 444. Now you are standing on the edge of truth and revelation. Because the story that was kept from you is now about to fall in your lap. And what you do next will either rebuild or destroy what's left of this connection. The stranger who heard their confession is no longer silent. They have written a message. And within that message is the entire truth, word by word, detail by detail. That message is headed toward your inbox, your letterbox, your timeline. It's coming. It holds everything this person never had the courage to say directly to you. And it will leave you in awe, confusion, and a moment of frozen breath. You may already feel that something is shifting. You may have been waking up with that name in your mind, sensing the energy of change. Because when truth wants to surface, it vibrates through the air around you. Type Amen to get blessing 777. This person once believed they could forget you. They believed time would erase the feelings. But now they see, they were wrong. They told the stranger that every song, every moment of silence, every smell reminds them of you. They even tried blocking your memory with distractions. But your memory was too bright, it burned through everything. They cried that night after the conversation. They wept in public, shaking, because finally saying your name broke them open. But it also set something in motion, something that cannot be undone. Now, a message is coming to you. A message that will explain the unexplained moments. A message that will shake your understanding of the past. Type Amen to get blessing 1212. Archangel Michael says, prepare yourself emotionally, because this won't be easy. The truth will sting, but it will also heal. The person who once hid behind silence is now exposed. Their words are reaching you in mysterious ways, through songs, dreams, even people who mention their name out of nowhere. This is not coincidence. This is divine orchestration. The love they confessed wasn't just a moment of weakness. It was real, raw, and lasting. But the mistakes that followed are just as real. They betrayed your loyalty once. They stood by while you were hurt and didn't step forward. And now they are drowning in regret, confessing to strangers what they should have told you. Type Amen to get blessing 505. The stranger has become a messenger. Not by choice, but by divine push. Because the truth had to travel somehow, and angels often use unexpected routes. You might receive a letter soon. It might be digital, handwritten, anonymous. But it will contain everything, the love, the guilt, the cry for another chance. You must decide what to do with it. Not in rage, not in haste, but with the strength of someone who has been prepared for this moment. Because you weren't meant to live without knowing the full story. This is the chapter that brings closure or resurrection. The choice will be yours. But the story is now fully in your hands. Type Amen to get blessing 1234. They're watching from afar now, wondering if the ripple they started has reached you yet. They're scared, more than ever, but also a little hopeful. Because finally, you'll know the truth, they never stopped loving you. Archangel Michael says, they wanted to call you many times. They picked up the phone and dropped it. They wrote your name in drafts, then deleted it. But the words that found their way through a stranger will now echo in your life louder than any silence. You'll feel it when you read it. You'll know it when your heart begins to race and your tears start to fall. This love was hidden. This truth was buried. But no more. Type Amen to get blessing 1001. Because tonight, someone you never knew your story. And they became the vessel of truth. They became the bridge between heartbreak and hope. Get ready. The confession is coming. And your story will never be the same again. Type Amen to get blessing 1717. This message will find its way to you through a moment that seems ordinary, yet it will carry extraordinary weight. It might come through a shared post, a forwarded note, or a mutual connection who suddenly reaches out with odd timing. But once you see it, your heartbeat will shift, because you'll recognize that the words were always meant for your eyes. They never wanted you to find out this way, but they were too afraid to speak directly. So the truth found another way out, a divine loophole through a stranger's ears. And now, their love and regret are flowing toward you like a tide that can't be held back. You will remember moments that never made sense before. Sudden mood swings, unanswered questions, and disappearing acts, they will all begin to connect. Because what they confessed revealed a maze of hidden feelings and suppressed memories. Type Amen to get blessing 8888. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. They said your silence after the last encounter haunted them. They dreamed of rewinding time and choosing differently. But they also admitted they didn't believe they were worthy of your love then. That's why they hurt you without warning. That's why they disappeared when you needed answers. They were battling their own guilt while pretending they were fine. They even asked the stranger if someone like you could ever forgive someone like them. And in that one question, their whole soul trembled. Because deep down, they knew they had crossed a line that love alone might not mend. Yet they still held on to hope. Hope that someday the truth would free them. Hope that you would understand that their mistake was not because they didn't care, but because they cared too much. Type Amen to get blessing 3030. They confessed to watching your posts without reacting. They confessed to walking near your street without letting you see. They confessed to telling others they had moved on, while crying in silence every night. This stranger they spoke to didn't give advice. They just listened. And then, like destiny itself, they carried the story forward. That's why, even now, the message is weaving through time to reach you. It might show up when you're least expecting it, in a moment of peace or distraction. But when it comes, everything will stop, because your soul will recognize its truth. You are the missing chapter in their life. And they are the secret your heart has been aching to uncover. But can love survive exposure to the full truth? Type Amen to get blessing 1818. Archangel Michael says, your destiny has been shifted by this conversation. Not because someone spoke your name, but because they spoke it with love and regret at the same time. That's a rare combination, and it summons powerful transformation. This is not just about a romantic connection. This is about closure, healing, karmic release, and spiritual rebirth. Because both of you have been trapped in a cycle of silence, and now that silence is cracking. You may have moved forward. You may have built walls, found distractions, convinced yourself it was over. But the divine doesn't forget what's written in the stars. That person is coming closer. Not physically just yet, but emotionally, energetically, spiritually. The barrier between you two is breaking down. Type Amen to get blessing 7777. They're speaking your name in places where angels linger. They're crying out to the universe for another chance. And the universe is listening. Your energy has shifted since their confession. Your dreams may have felt more intense lately. That's no coincidence, that's alignment. Now, your heart will begin to prepare itself. Not for a replay of the past, but for an entirely new chapter that begins with full honesty. This time, there will be no more hiding. The stranger has already delivered part of the message. The rest is being finalized in the spiritual realm. You are about to receive a truth that demands your soul's attention. Type Amen to get blessing 6464. They once said you were too good for them, but they now realize that was a coward's excuse. They ran from love because they didn't feel strong enough to receive it. And now, the weight of that choice is suffocating them. They confess that no matter what they do, no one else feels like you. Not in laughter, not in silence, not in chaos, not in peace. Your absence has become a presence that never leaves them. You might receive a sign today, perhaps a memory, a scent, a coincidence that feels too specific. That's the confirmation that their soul is reaching out to yours. That's the vibration of unspoken love begging for redemption. Archangel Michael says, everything hidden is now surfacing. And it's not to punish, it's to set you both free. But freedom comes with choice. Type Amen to get blessing 4444. You were never meant to carry confusion in your heart forever. You were never meant to be the one left wondering. So the truth was set loose by divine order, and now it's reaching you. This person's love is real. But so is their mistake. And now you will know both truths together, not one without the other. You might cry. You might smile. You might pause the world around you just to process what you're about to read. The words will feel like a mirror of everything your soul already knew but your heart refused to admit. Because this isn't just a story, it's your story. And it was written in whispers long before it reached your ears. Type Amen to get blessing 2222. They said they love the way you carry yourself. The way you laugh, even when things are falling apart. They admired you, even when they failed to show it. But they also confessed to pushing someone into your path, someone who would distract you. They did it thinking it would help them move on. But it only made their longing worse. They tried to erase your number once. But their hands shook too much to press delete. That's when they knew you were still inside them, deeper than they ever realized. They told the stranger they still celebrate your birthday silently. They still replay your old messages when no one's around. They still believe your soul was meant to cross theirs, no matter how long it takes. Type Amen to get blessing 5656. So now, divine energy is guiding this truth to you, not to hurt, but to clarify. Because you deserve to know what was said, what was felt, and what is still being carried in the hearts of others. You deserve the choice to accept or release, but never again to be left in the dark. You are more powerful than you realize. Your presence changes people. And this confession is proof. They didn't expect the stranger to care. But that stranger became a vessel for divine truth. And now, you are the next to receive it. Open your spirit to what's arriving. Because it's not just a message, it's a window to everything that was hidden. And it will change your entire story, forever. Type Amen to get blessing 1111. This confession is now moving like fire through paper, burning away lies, illusions, and the silence that once divided your hearts. The universe waited until this exact moment to deliver it, because now your spirit is strong enough to hear it. You are not the same person you were when they walked away. You've evolved, healed, and awakened. This is why the truth is finding you now, not sooner, not later, but in this divine moment. Because now, you hold the power, not just to feel, but to decide. To either welcome healing or seal the past with wisdom. The person who confessed has been carrying a spiritual weight. Since the day they spoke those words to a stranger, they haven't been able to rest. They keep checking their phone, watching your name appear in their dreams, sensing that a shift is coming. Type Amen to get blessing 9090. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. They confessed something else too, something that shook the stranger who heard it. They said that during one of your worst days, they were watching. They saw the pain in your eyes, but still didn't come forward, and they've never forgiven themselves. This truth is arriving to complete what was broken. To fill in the missing pages of your story with clarity and emotion. Because your soul deserves answers, not just endings. Archangel Michael says, do not resist what is being brought to you now. It may not come in the way you expected. But its purpose is sacred, to free your heart from the chains of confusion. The words you are about to read will feel like they came from their lips directly. But they'll arrive through a source you never saw coming. That's how divine intervention works, it moves through unexpected paths. Type Amen to get blessing 6767. This person told the stranger they fear seeing your face again. Not because they don't want to. But because they worry you'll see right through them, the pain, the love, the regret. They're hoping you feel them now. They're sending out thoughts, hoping they'll land in your spirit. And maybe they already have, in the form of sudden memories, old photos, or a song that played at the perfect time. Their love didn't die. It was buried beneath guilt, shame, and self-punishment. But love that's real doesn't rot, it waits, it watches, it transforms. This is the transformation. This is the moment of truth rising. And it's happening because the time for hidden emotions is over. Type Amen to get blessing 2121. You might soon receive a message that begins innocently. It might say, "Hey, you crossed my mind today." But what follows will be a confession so raw, it could either break you or heal you. The stranger who listened didn't just vanish. They became a mirror, and then a messenger. And now, someone around you might suddenly say something that feels too close to your reality. That's because Spirit is aligning every thread to prepare you. The truth is a frequency, and your heart is tuned to hear it now. You'll feel the shift before you even read the words. This person regrets the silence more than the mistake. Because they believe, deep down, that maybe, just maybe, you could have understood, if only they had trusted you. And now, they're praying for a chance to make it right. Type Amen to get blessing 303. Archangel Michael says, the person who once held your heart is now ready to hand over their own. Not for selfish reasons, but because their soul is tired of pretending. They've tried moving on, but every path led back to you. They confessed they've been seeing signs, your name in random places, your favorite color, strangers who look like you. Even numbers and dreams have been guiding them to confront their truth. And this confession is the first step in breaking their spiritual chains. They may not even know how close the message is to reaching you. But the moment it does, you will feel the energy shift in your room. And your heart will recognize that something sacred just touched your life. Don't run from it. Don't dismiss it. This is bigger than emotions, this is divine timing in action. Type Amen to get blessing 4141. They cried the night they confessed. They kept repeating your name like a prayer they were too afraid to say out loud before. And now, every tear they shed has become a spiritual seed, growing into the truth that is now blooming. They want you to know they see your worth now. They see the power in your silence, the strength in your smile, the beauty in your being. And they hate that they had to lose you to learn it. But now, the stranger knows your name. The universe knows your pain. And both are working together to bring clarity that will shake you. You were never forgotten. You were never truly abandoned. You were simply loved by someone who didn't yet know how to love themselves. Type Amen to get blessing 2929. Now they do. Now they're ready. And now the truth is sprinting toward you like a tide that can't be held back. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment everything that was twisted finally untangles. This is the moment the page turns, and you read the words you were always meant to see. You are not alone in this. The energy surrounding you is sacred. You've been chosen to receive this truth because your soul is capable of holding it. Get ready. Because within the next breath, the next blink, the next heartbeat, you might just receive it. And nothing will ever be the same again. Type Amen to get blessing 3737. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20.